Of Apples and Magic by Legion of Pony. Of Revelations, Part 3. After a long train ride to Canterlot, Twilight and Applejack stood before the throne room door of Princess Celestia and Princess Luna in the late evening after watching them raise the moon and lower the sun, having asked to meet with them and received permission for a personal meeting. Twilight had originally just wanted to send them a wedding invitation and have them find out that way. But she, in the same way, remembered how much it had hurt her to be told of her brother Shining Armor's wedding by a piece of paper instead of face to face. She couldn't do that to her mentor and, indeed, one of her closest friends, Celestia, nor her newer but also close friend Luna. As their schedules differed, Celestia ruling during the daytime, then Luna ruling during the night, the sextet of friends, with Rarity, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, and Pinkie Pie also coming along, had been offered to spend the whole day and night there as guests by Celestia until Luna awoke in the late evening. They could then speak to them at the same time, as Twilight had requested, after they had lowered the sun and risen the moon in tandem as they did every evening. The only time of day the two were regularly up together for a few hours, except when they rose the sun and lowered the moon in the morning. Twilight had happily accepted. Twilight then rose her hoof and knocked thrice, hearing the calm, authoritative voice of Celestia inviting them in. As they walked in and Twilight and Applejack both bowed before the thrones, Celestia chuckled. It had been somewhat of a running trait of Twilight to still bow to the princesses, even after her own ascension to a princess herself. And each time Celestia would correct her despite not expecting it to change. "You needn't bow to us, Twilight. You're a princess yourself," Celestia said with a chuckle, stepping down from her throne and putting a hoof on Twilight's shoulder, then wrapping her in a warm hug. Luna had also stepped down and stood beside her sister. "Sorry?" Twilight asked, giving a sheepish smile. "So what is this news thou wish to speak to us?" Luna asked, always tossing in a touch of old royal Canterlot verbiage into her speech whenever she was around close friends or family, just being herself. Applejack and Twilight looked to each other and then smiled, with Applejack nodding to Twilight. "Well, Applejack and I are getting married," Twilight said, beaming at the news. Celestia and Luna were silent for a moment, before Celestia suddenly wrapped Twilight into a tighter hug. "Oh, Twilight, I knew ever since I sent you out to make friends that this day would come," Celestia said happily, still holding Twilight tight to her breast. "The day you discovered more than just friendship, the day you found love. I'm so happy for you, Twilight." Celestia then released her, giving her a smile as bright as her own sun. Celestia then turned to Applejack. "I wish nothing but happiness for the both of you." "We're glad of thine decisions to join thyself in wedlock," Luna chimed in. "We also wish thee only the best together." "Thank you, Celestia, Luna," Twilight said, looking to each as she named them, then receiving a smile from both. "So, when do you plan to be wed?" After another train ride the next day, having spent the night at Canterlot as invited to, the six friends now stood within the Crystal Palace of the Crystal Empire, Twilight having messaged ahead and being happily granted a meeting with the Prince and Princess of the land, mi amore Cadenza, her fillyhood babysitter and oldest friend, and her brother, Shining Armor. "Twilight!" Twilight heard, and as she looked up she realized quickly that it was Shining who had called to her. Once she stepped into the throne room, she quickly found herself being scooped up into a tight hug from her brother, one which she only too gladly accepted, and met with one of her own. "Hi, BBBFF, it's been a while," Twilight said, squeezing a little tighter, before finally her brother released her. As he did, she looked over to the other pony in the room, her smile widening even more as she saw the pink-coated alicorn mare, who she had known for her entire life. "Cadence!" Twilight cried out happily, with the two then meeting in an embrace, before backing to a hoof's distance from each other. "Sunshine, sunshine, ladybugs awake, clap your hoofs and do a little shake," the two recited as they went through the motions, ending with their rumps facing each other in a giggle, finishing the song and dance they had shared since Twilight could remember. "So, what's this big news you have to give us, Twilight?" Shining Armor asked once all the greetings were out of the way, the other four friends having left Twilight and Applejack to deliver their news alone. "Yes, It sounded really grand. Did you finally find a special sun pony? Cadence asked, glancing back and forth between Twilight and Applejack with a knowing smile. Wait, Cadence, how did you know? Twilight asked, baffled. She hadn't told her, nor Shining Armor, about their engagement, yet she seemed to know. You forget, Twilight, that love is my special talent. I can sense the love between two ponies the same way other ponies can sense hot or cold, night or day. It's just part of me. And you, Twilight and Applejack, love each other very much. Detecting the perfect segue, Twilight nodded. We do. That's why we're getting married, and, Cadence, I would like for you to be my best mare. The look of joy on both Shining and Cadence's face were positively glowing happiness. Shining grabbed Twilight in another tight hug, and Cadence hugged Applejack. Twilight, Applejack, I'm so happy for the both of you. Of course I'll be your best mare, Cadence said, her voice cracking, sounding on the verge of tears. My little Twilight, all grown up. Shining turned to Applejack, his expression serious. Applejack, I know that you love Twilight with all of your heart, and she loves you the same. All I ask is that you love her as she deserves. She's my sister, and I know you'll be honest with and loyal to her. Right? Applejack nodded, just as serious. You know I will, Shining. His expression lightened, and he smiled, his happy tears now trailing down his muzzle. Twilight noticed. More liquid pride? She asked with a smirk, a little joke between them. Yeah, just liquid pride, he responded with a smile, wrapping her and Applejack in a hug. Twilight, from a little filly with her book forts to a grown mare getting married, where did all the time go? Cadence said, her own eyes watering as she took a turn, giving her sister-in-law, her sister, a tight hug of congratulations after Shining had. So, when's the happy day you two are to be joined?